Have you ever felt a profound exhaustion? Not of the body, but of the soul, even when you've done nothing at all? This is the very essence of mental friction, a silent internal war that wages within us. It is an epidemic of our time, an invisible enemy that quietly consumes our mental energy, our passion, and our life force. We are swept away by a deluge of information, lost in comparisons within the theater of perfect lives constructed by social media. We are pushed by the relentless tide of competition, terrified of falling behind, terrified of making a mistake, causing us to tread every step with painstaking caution. We possess seemingly infinite choices, yet often find ourselves paralyzed by them, fearing that any single decision could lead to the wrong future. We increasingly resemble pre-programmed NPCs, moving along tracks laid out by society, family, and consumerism, while the self in our innermost depths gradually withers, losing its sense of control and meaning in life. So, is there a way to alleviate this constant internal attrition? Can we find a wisdom that helps us rediscover our own order and tranquility in this tumultuous world? The answer, perhaps, lies in an ancient wisdom from over 2,000 years ago. It is called Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us how to maintain tranquility in chaos and find strength in adversity. It is not the emotionless asceticism it's often mistaken for, but rather a powerful operating system for the mind, a precise antidote to the mental friction of the modern age. Chapter 1. Master what you can control. The primary source of mental friction is the immense energy we waste on things we simply cannot control. We fret about tomorrow's weather, worry about the economy's direction, suffer over others' opinions, and cling to a past that cannot be changed. At its core, Stoicism first hands us a sharp sword of wisdom, the dichotomy of control. The ancient Roman philosopher Epictetus taught us that we must clearly distinguish between what lies within our power and what lies completely beyond it. What we can control: our own thoughts, judgments, choices, desires, and actions. This is the domain of our inner kingdom, and we are its sole sovereign. What we cannot control: our birth, health, wealth, reputation, the words and actions of others, natural disasters, and the ever-changing tides of world events. In short, all external things. Imagine you have meticulously prepared for a critical job interview. What you can control are the perfection of your resume, your thorough understanding of the company and the role, the thoughtfulness of your answers, and your professional attire. But you cannot control the interviewer's mood that day, the specific questions they might ask, the caliber of the other candidates, or even whether you'll be delayed by traffic on the way. A person consumed by internal friction conflates these two. They not only strive to perfect what they can control, but also agonize over the uncontrollable factors. If they fail to get the job, they might attribute it to "the interviewer didn't like me" or "I just have bad luck," spiraling into deep self-reproach. A practitioner of Stoicism, however, would do this: devote all my energy to what I can control and serenely accept what I cannot. They would pour all their effort into preparation, then walk into the interview room with a calm confidence to present their best self. As for the outcome, that is feedback from the external world, a part of fate. Whether they succeed or fail, they will not allow that result to define their self-worth. Their value is embodied in the effort they invested and the professionalism they displayed, things that were entirely within their control. This sword demands that we undertake a thorough mental decluttering. Every time you feel anxious, angry, or despondent, pause and ask yourself, is the thing that troubles me right now within my control? If the answer is no, then practice letting it go. Just as you cannot stop the rain, you cannot stop others from gossiping. To worry about it is as pointless as standing in the rain pitying yourself. It accomplishes nothing except getting you soaked. If the answer is yes, then cease the empty rumination and worry, and immediately channel your energy into the actions you can take. This simple division can liberate us from 90% of our pointless anxieties, allowing our mental energy to refocus on what truly matters. Chapter 2. Reshape your perceptions. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his famous Meditations, "You are disturbed not by things, but by the judgment you make about them." This statement is the ancient wellspring of modern cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and the second key remedy for healing mental friction. We often believe that external events, losing a job, a breakup, criticism, are the direct cause of our negative emotions. But the Stoics keenly observed that between the event and the emotion lies a crucial intermediate step, our perception or judgment. Consider the same event. Being stuck in traffic for half an hour on the way to work. Judgment A. This is terrible. I'm going to be late, my boss will be furious, and my whole day is ruined. Emotion. Anxiety, anger, immense stress. Judgment B. There's traffic. This is an external event I cannot control. Since that's the case, I can use this time to finally listen to that podcast I've been meaning to hear, or perhaps outline my plan for this afternoon's meeting. Emotion, calmness, perhaps even a sense of composure. The traffic jam itself is neutral. It is our internal narrative that gives it meaning and ignites the flames of emotion. Those who suffer from mental friction often possess an automatic, catastrophic negative narrative pattern. They are the master scriptwriters of their own inner tragedies. Stoicism invites us to become sentinels of our own minds, to scrutinize and challenge the automatic judgments that trigger our suffering. It asks that we practice a kind of cognitive distancing. When a thought arises, we don't immediately identify with it, but instead observe it as we would a passing cloud. I feel like a failure. This is just a thought, not a fact. He is definitely laughing at me. This is just a conjecture, not the truth. By consciously reframing our cognitive filters, we can transform seemingly negative events into neutral or even positive experiences. This is not self-deception, but a profound wisdom. We cannot choose the cards life deals us, but we can always choose how to interpret and play the hand we've been dealt. Chapter 3. Embrace your fate and turn obstacles into opportunities. If the dichotomy of control is a defensive strategy, then amor fati, the love of one's fate, is Stoicism's most advanced offensive art. It doesn't just ask us to accept our uncontrollable fate, but to love it. This may sound radical, even unreasonable. How can one learn to love pain, failure, and misfortune? The Stoic logic is this: the universe is a rationally ordered whole, composed of an unbreakable chain of cause and effect. Everything that happens to us, good or bad, is an indispensable link in this grand chain. To resist it is to resist the logic of the entire cosmos, a struggle that is doomed to be both futile and painful. More importantly, the Stoics believe that the obstacle is the way. Every difficulty and setback we encounter in life is not there to destroy us, but to build us. They are the very equipment we use to exercise our virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Facing unfair treatment is an opportunity to practice justice and forgiveness. Facing a sudden illness is an opportunity to practice courage and resilience. Facing another's betrayal is an opportunity to practice wisdom and self-restraint. The pervasive involution or relentless competition of modern society is seen by many as a source of suffering. From a Stoic perspective, this too can be viewed as a superb training ground. It compels us to sharpen our skills, elevate our awareness, and learn to manage our time and energy more efficiently. Instead of lamenting the cruelty of competition, we can see it as a chance to temper our character and abilities, focusing on becoming a more excellent version of ourselves. The process itself becomes filled with value and meaning, while the outcome of success or failure becomes secondary. Amor fati transforms us from the passive mindset of a victim to the active mindset of a creator. It makes us stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start thinking, since this has happened, how can I use it to make myself better? This shift in mindset can transmute all of life's poisons into potions that nourish our growth, thereby eradicating the very soil in which mental friction takes root. Chapter 4. Contemplate mortality, to live in the present. Another facet of modern mental friction is an excessive anxiety about the future and endless regret for the past, while neglecting the only thing we truly possess, the present moment. For this, Stoicism prescribes a potent medicine, memento mori. Remember that you must die. To contemplate death is not to lead us toward pessimism or nihilism. On the contrary, it is meant to ignite the most vibrant life force. When we deeply realize that life is finite and fleeting, we can begin to truly ask ourselves, what is most important? Do those inconsequential opinions from others still matter? Does the envy and scheming over petty gains still matter? Is wasting precious time indulging in the false glamour of social media still worth it? Death, the ultimate advisor, helps us instantly filter out the noise and trivialities of life, allowing what is truly valuable to stand out. It urges us to stop procrastinating, to stop pinning our hopes on an ethereal tomorrow, and instead to live each day as if it were our last, with the utmost sincerity and passion. This wisdom of living in the face of death can awaken us from the numb state of an NPC. We begin to realize that the script of our lives must be written by us. We are no longer passively coping with life, but actively creating, experiencing, and loving it. To live in the present means to mindfully savor every bite of food, to listen with sincerity to every conversation, to engage fully in every task. When our minds are no longer wandering but are anchored in the here and now, the energy of internal friction naturally dissipates, replaced by a profound sense of peace and focus. From knowing to doing, your Stoic mental gymnasium. Stoicism is not a set of theories for idle talk. It is a practical art that requires a lifetime of practice. Here are a few mental fitness exercises you can begin immediately. 1. Stoic journaling. Each evening before bed, like Marcus Aurelius, record and reflect on the day's events. What was within your control? Were your responses in line with reason and virtue? What did you learn from today's challenges? 2. Negative visualization. Premeditatio malorum. Spend a few minutes each day imagining the loss of things you cherish, your job, your health, your loved ones. This is not a curse, but a method to deepen your appreciation and gratitude for what you have right now. 3. Voluntary discomfort. Occasionally, try intentional hardship, such as taking a cold shower, skipping a meal, or choosing the stairs instead of the elevator. This strengthens your willpower and makes you more composed when facing real difficulties. 4. The view from above. When you're mired in personal troubles, imagine yourself looking down on Earth from space. See all of humanity, and then see your tiny self. From the grand scale of the cosmos, how insignificant your current anxieties appear. Conclusion. From a prisoner of your inner war to the master of your soul. The mental friction of the modern person is, in essence, a crisis of control. We feel as though we are held hostage by the external world, becoming slaves to our emotions and prisoners of fate. Stoicism, this ancient wisdom, speaks to us like a mentor across time, issuing a thunderous declaration: your inner kingdom is forever yours. No matter how tempestuous the outside world, you can always build an impregnable citadel within yourself, a place of eternal tranquility, freedom, and strength. It is not a miracle cure that works overnight, but a path of practice leading to inner power. By day after day, practicing the distinction between the controllable and uncontrollable, by examining and reshaping our perceptions, by loving and leveraging our fate, and by always remembering our mortality, we will, step by step, end the war within and reclaim sovereignty over our own souls.